guaranteed low prices. Voted best Santa Clarita furniture store for the past 5 years, Consumers Furniture is in the Centerpoint Shopping Center below Sam's Club at Walmart. At Consumers Furniture, they strive to offer the best in customer service with design consultants on staff to help with any room in your home. For more information on Consumers Furniture, go to consumersfurniture.com.
Hey there, it's Tori with your hometown station weather. Mostly cloudy today with a high of only 63 degrees. Rain all weekend long, starting tonight through Sunday. For anything and everything Santa Clarita Valley related, go to hometownstation.com or find us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KHTS Radio.
Hometown, your hometown station.
And welcome to the Alex Urbina radio show. We're live in the KHTS studio in beautiful downtown Newhall, California. And I'm hanging out with my co-host, Ellen Tunick. This show is all about life coaching and how to create maximum value for yourself from a life coach or from the simple willingness to be open to all possibilities. It's a series called Helping You Reach Your Full Potential. And today we're going to be discussing anxiety. What is anxiety? So instead of me telling you what I think it is, we're just going to tell you the definition from the internet, whether you trust the internet or not. We always wonder if the internet is right or not.
Yeah.
But there are some experts out there that have colluded and gotten together and said, this is our best understanding of what we think it is. So anxiety, what is it? It's experiencing worry, unease, or nervousness, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. So anything that you're uncertain about that is causing you to worry about it or be nervous about it, or maybe even not even being in control of it, will cause that part of you to now create this anxiousness, right? This anxiety. And so I want you to imagine the feeling of being anxious often stems from your unconscious mind's ability to detect danger ahead of time, thus triggering our internal flight or fight mode in an attempt to prepare your body for an outcome that's dangerous, whether it's actually real or not. So a lot of times, some of the things that we worry about that ends up turning into being anxious or creating that anxiety, whether it's real or not, it's actually real to us because we've made it real.
And we feel it.
And we feel it. It's an actual feeling of that unsettledness, and then it gets to a point where the worrying continues over and over and over again, and you just go down this road where now you're just now feeling the physical manifestations of that constant worry and fear.
I think for me, the only person that I can speak to is I actually am experiencing more anxiety as an adult than I remember feeling it as a kid. But maybe it's just because I'm experiencing it now and don't remember. But I experience more anxiety now, but I'm working on trying to be able to identify where it's emanating from. And how it's manifesting itself and why I'm in that place. But I definitely seem to experience more of it now than I did years ago.
When you say that, is it more you're noticing it more, or do you think you're noticing it happening more often?
I think both. I am noticing it more often, but the place, every time I notice it now, the place I want to go to is, okay, I'm feeling. I'm finally present and feeling. So I'm acknowledging that something is going on. I feel a little amped up. I don't want to create a story or a belief around it. So I try and just sit with it for a little bit, try and identify its source.
This is why I love this topic, because it opens up the possibility that as we all as human beings are experiencing some anxiety in our lives, There are those of us that are aware, fully aware that we're experiencing it in the moment. And then there are some of us that aren't aware that we're actually feeling it. Then you open now the possibility of, for those of us that are aware, are we aware that we're actually choosing to have that experience? And then are we aware that we actually have a choice to not experience that experience? If you're unaware, then you don't realize you actually have a choice. It just feels like it's something that's come onto you or landed in your lap. It fell out of the sky.
And you can't control it.
That's right.
But it's going to control you.
That's right. So unconscious, if you're unconscious and you're unaware, and if you haven't practiced the awareness at a heightened level or being mindful to that level, then it's just something that's happening that you feel that you can't control. You don't have any choice. It's just something that just is upon you, and you think it's happening because of specific circumstances outside of you. Like my current anxiety is because I don't have a job. My current anxiety is because of this or that. You're like, does that make sense? You're tying it to a circumstance outside of you that's happening in your life
versus inside of
you. Versus is just a choice. You're choosing to be anxious, whether it's you're conscious of it or not. So the minute you start to wake up and become conscious and aware that you actually are anxious, and that it's gone down a road that's now unhealthy in your current state, and you're aware of that, then now you become aware that you can actually choose to not be anxious, that you actually have a choice. And then you start to figure out how to get yourself to that stage.
You know, the way I've been processing it is every time I feel anxious or that anxiety come over me, I also now stop and say, okay, now this is an opportunity for me to begin to understand why it's there in the first place.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That inner dialogue is not happening if you're unconscious.
Right.
If you're totally unaware and you're unconscious of what you're feeling, that you actually are feeling that, it is a choice and you have a choice to not feel it. If you don't know any of that or don't subscribe to that theory.
Well, it incapacitates people.
It does if you're unaware that you actually are in control of it.
Yes.
When you don't know that you're in control of it and you think it's something that's happening to you because something outside of you is causing it, then you have no control. You just, all you're doing now is just wrestling with it and sliding down the tunnel with it.
I have a friend who has anxiety, and every time the situation comes up where that anxiety begins to take over, and I happen to be in the same space, she always says, "But you don't understand." And, you know, my response is, you're right. I don't understand what you're experiencing because only you are experiencing it. So, you know, what would one say to someone experiencing anxiety to help them open themselves up to the possibility of, I can actually master this and I can take control of this?
All right, let's look at it like this. If another woman was having was getting ready to birth a child and was having labor pains, and she looks at you and you're trying to help her, and she goes, "You don't understand.
You don't
this
get
pain,
it.
This pain that I'm feeling." Now you can say, "You're right. I don't understand the pain that you're feeling and the level that you're feeling it. However, I've experienced that before for myself, and I remember what that pain was like. And if it wasn't for having someone else to walk me down that and for me to focus on something other than the pain, I would be exactly where you're at, in resistance to the pain, feeling the pain more." The point I'm trying to make is, don't let people enroll you into, because you don't understand what they're feeling, doesn't mean that you don't understand what it feels like to be in a situation that they're in as well. Like, you have your own experiences of your own anxiety. So you can say, "You're right, I don't know what you're feeling.
But I've experienced
experienced my own anxiety, and I know how
unsettling it can be."
That's right. And then you can say, so the things that have worked for me is having a friend there that has also been through it, that can guide me and have me focus on something else other than the anxiety. So I'm here to let you know that those people that have been that gift for me, I'm here now there for you. You just have to help me help you. And one ways that you're not going to let me help you is by you telling me I don't understand what pain you're going through.
Conversation's over.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So basically what happened was she enrolled you into not helping her.
Yeah, jumped right in.
Because her pain was so unbearable that she decided that you don't know what she's going through, so there's no way you could help her.
And for sure, I could not understand how bad it was.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in that moment, you can say, you're right, I don't know how bad it is.
However,
I've been in that situation where I've had my own unbearable pain, and what's helped me is a friend that was there standing next to me, reminding me to focus on either on my breathing or our conversation, or they were in my ear helping me get away from the resisting the pain and all of that stuff. And I'm willing to do that for you now, but you're not helping me help you.
If you're open to letting
You're not helping me help you
Yeah.
right now by saying you don't understand.
It sounds like Lamaze birthing training.
Absolutely. You know, Lamaze is just a way of helping you not resist the pain,
Right.
but allow the pain to happen and then focus on something else other than the pain. Because you got to remember, we're so powerful as human beings. We're creative. We're like laser beams that whatever we focus on, we actually create more of. So if I'm in excruciating pain and I keep focusing on the pain, guess what I'm going to do?
Worse
I'm
and worse
I'm
and
going to create
worse.
more of the pain. Oh my God, this pain is so unbearable. Oh my God, I
I've
can't
never
believe.
felt anything like this before.
The more you keep saying that, guess what you're going to keep feeling?
More pain.
More pain. And the same thing with anxiety. Oh my God, I can't believe that. And the more you're talking about it, you work yourself up more and more and more. So the anxiety gets more intense. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right. So what you need is, if you can't figure out how to regulate yourself and go through that self-talk to get you focused on not focusing on the anxiety or the pain, or someone else can be there for you to walk you through that, that's your best tool. That's your gift to yourself. If you think about it, whether it's pain or anxiety, the best tool, the best gift is having someone else standing next to you, kind of being that voice of reason, going, all right, take a deep breath. Remember, we're going to get through this, right? They're having you, they're kind of deferring your focus onto something else, like what it's going to look like on the other side, that it's going to be okay. I'm here for you. And all of that talk and all of that focus is keeping you off of the focus of the pain or the anxiety or the fear that you have in that moment.
I have the tendency, as you know, to sometimes tell them what to do, and that doesn't work. You can't tell somebody.
Yeah, because you're a fixer.
Yeah.
You want to fix
everything. Tell me what needs fixing. I'll fix it.
Yeah,
and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and so your best asset is to be there with them, and just kind of remind them to how not to be focusing on the thing that's going to continue to bring that same pain or that same anxiety, but just be that voice of reason
and that positive energy.
Yeah. So here's an example. A lot of my clients, the greatest compliment they can give me, is funny, it's not even in a compliment. But the greatest compliment that I choose to receive is when they say, Alex, this weekend, it was crazy. And I heard your little voice on my shoulder saying, blah, 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 whatever it was, right? And a lot of times I'll tell them, I'm honored that you hear my voice, but it's really your voice. But you're associating it to me because I'm your coach and we work on things. But what you need to do is we all need a little voice right there. Sometimes it's our conscience. Sometimes it's our spirit. But we need
that inner voice.
We need a voice that just calmly reminds us, hey, buddy, don't panic.
Right.
Take a deep breath. Relax. This isn't forever. Roll with it. Embrace it. Don't resist it. Remember that why you're here, or how did you get yourself here? So it's more of a voice of reason to kind of, okay, slow it down. You know what I'm saying? You know how you focus on, sometimes we focus on something like our breathing.
And you forget to breathe.
Yeah. But if you focus on your breathing, it brings you into the present moment. And now you can be in the present moment, still have the fear, the pain, the anxieties, whatever it is. But as you're dialing into the present moment, you can allow yourself to feel that without making more of it.
Well, I think it's important, at least it's important for me, to acknowledge what's the experience. Don't deny it.
Well, that's part of what causes more of it is the denial, and the resistance. Like, I don't want this to be happening.
Right.
Too late, buddy.
Yeah, get rid of this. Get rid of this.
It's already happening, and you can't get rid of it.
Right.
So the minute you're able to embrace that it is happening, I might not be able to get rid of it, but if I don't feed it, we'll let it run its course.
Well, and some people literally feel, and me being one of them, I used to think there was something wrong with me, that I could not adjust my settings to make it go away.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll have clients that'll come into me and they're so like either really depressed or really anxious or really like just deep in it. And as they're sharing with me, sometimes I'll just say, oh, you're supposed to be feeling that. That's normal. And then, like, let's say they're breathing heavy, like, I am? This is normal? And I go, yeah, you're supposed to, you love your kids and you're worried that you're supposed to be feeling like that. Oh, okay. And so sometimes me just giving them permission to feel what they're feeling and that it's okay, all of a sudden now they can relax.
Yeah, they can breathe again.
Yeah, and all of a sudden you'll notice they're breathing again. And because I made it okay and made it normal, they stopped resisting it.
But isn't it interesting that, well, maybe it's not interesting, that sometimes we need someone else to tell us that it's okay and that it's normal?
We always need someone else. And this is where we struggle is we don't ask for help. We don't let other people help us. We don't trust others. We don't find somebody that we do trust.
We think we should know it all.
Yeah, and that's the part that traps us into that little bubble where we're in a hamster wheel going round and round and round.
This is so me.
Yeah.
This is so me. I'm working so hard. I mean, obviously I have a long way to go, but it's like I want to be that person to me.
And you can. You just have to first let someone else help you and teach you.
Right.
And then you'll be that person.
Yeah.
But most of us want to be that person already.
Right away.
It's like we're all millennials.
It's like I want to play the guitar. Okay, I want to play it perfectly in a week.
We're all the I generation. We all want it when?
Yeah.
Right now. We all want to be the expert of ourselves right now. And sometimes you can't be the expert of yourself until you allow someone else to point things out to you for you to look at yourself and reflect. And you got to go back to school to study Alex. Well, you won't. I am. And then you got to go to school to study and learn and master Ellen, and so on and so on. But you can't be a student of yourself if you're too busy being the expert of yourself.
Okay.
There's no room for student and learning and growing if you've decided you're the expert. And most of us live our life as the expert. Meanwhile, we're struggling and suffering, and we're in pain, and we're broken, and we're lost, and we're hurt, and we're dysfunctional. But yet we still want to act like we're the expert of our life.
Well, I still, I've always believed that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And who knows what that teacher looks like.
Yeah, you have to be unattached to how they look like.
Yeah, but the student needs to be ready and be open to the teacher appearing.
And that's the biggest, life lesson is when I'm struggling, I have to be willing to ask for help. And especially if I'm experiencing some kind of emotional feeling that's really bad or unhealthy for me. If my worries, let me repeat that. If my concerns turn into worries and then my worries turn into anxiety, I've gone too far down the rabbit hole.
Oh.
So you got to learn how to dial it back from your anxiety to your worry and then start learning how to live in concern. It's a concern of mine. Not
a worry.
Well,
but it becomes a worry if you let it.
And then if you let it be a worry, then you can let it be. You can let it be an anxiety.
And
and then from anxiety, now you're spiraling down this.
But it can happen so quickly.
It does, but only when you're unaware and you're unconscious. When you wake up and you have this heightened sense of awareness and you're living consciously in the present moment, you start to realize that you are actually more in control of your own thoughts, your own feelings than you've ever been before. And then you start to realize you actually have a choice. You can actually choose to feel those. Then you start to realize, wow, I am choosing everything. And if I'm choosing that, why would I be choosing it?
Right.
And if I'm choosing it, then I can not choose it.
I can choose to not choose it.
That's right. But you can't get there until you've had your awakening. You've realized that you're living in the present moment and you're in control of your own life. If you don't, you're a victim to all your circumstances. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to take it to a whole nother level. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
Stone Oven, the healthy alternative. You've never tasted a sandwich like this before. Gourmet bread cooked before your eyes. Stone Oven at the food court at Valencia Town Center.
Save at the best Santa Clarita restaurants. Restaurant Row, where everything is half price. Click on hometownstation.com and discover incredible savings. Online or at our radio station, everyone saves with Restaurant Row. Check it out at hometownstation.com. Restaurant Row, where everything is half price.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 4343 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 4343. Enjoy.
California Credit Union, the only credit union in Santa Clarita focused on our educational community. California Credit Union offers low rates on loans for personal and business services, along with financial services for teachers, students, staff, and families. Free checking and very low new and used auto loan rates.
California Credit Union, your personal credit union, located in the River Oak Shopping Center next to Target.
Visit us and open an account today. Insured by NCUA, an agency of the federal government.
Are you at least 55 and have a torn irreparable rotator cuff? If so, you may qualify for a no-cost clinical study of an investigational shoulder implant. Visit rotatorcuffstudy.com. Learn more about the study being conducted at Southern California Orthopedic Institute's Valencia Clinic at rotatorcuffstudy.com. See video of the device and get more information on how to enroll at rotatorcuffstudy.com.
That's rotatorcuffstudy.com, rotatorcuffstudy.com.
Sponsored by Micro Air Surgical Instruments.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina radio show. I'm your host, hanging out with my lovely co-host Ellen Tunick, and we are talking about anxieties. What is an anxiety? An anxiety is a worry, an unease, a nervousness that you're basically allowing to continue to fester about an uncertain outcome that you're either not in control of or don't know what it looks like. And so that
takes over your body.
That worry just like starts to fester and becomes a point where you're now feeling a certain way where you can even be manifesting hives, rash. You know, people get
red face,
all of that.
Yeah,
it could.
It is physical.
It can manifest in a physical way because that fear is being generated from inside of you. It has to go somewhere. It's just an elaborate sense of fear of something. Either I don't know, fear of not knowing what it's going to look like, fear of being rejected, fear of it going, being a mistake or the wrong thing. I mean, we could run ourselves ragged trying to psychoanalyze what it could be rather than surrendering all of that fear and just deciding that it'll be what it is. I'm not in control of it. And when it shows up, we'll dance with it.
Yeah, we'll dance with it.
And that's part of having a certain leadership ability about yourself. And so one of the things that I learned early on in my 20s when I took on these leadership programs as my college degree. You know, I didn't go to traditional college and get a degree. I went to personal development training centers and embarked on leadership programs and transformational trainings where I really learned how to embody leadership skills inside of me that I wish we were teaching more to kids and people about how to master yourself. And one of the things that really helps me in my life in leadership is trusting that I can handle any circumstances that come out in my life. And so because I have enough experience now and enough trust in myself that, you know, like one day I asked myself, Alex, has there ever been a situation that you haven't handled fairly well? I mean, all my circumstances I don't handle perfectly, but have you not given them 100%, given it your whole heart, always looking for win-win? Have you not at least 90% of them handled them fairly well? And I had to sincerely answer myself, yes. So then if you have that ability to look at a certain circumstance when it arises in that moment, and then for the most part, 90%, you're making good decisions, why are you doubting yourself?
Well, I think so many people are of this mindset that it's easier to fail than it is to succeed. I have heard that so many times that it's just easier that way because you have to sustain.
But what if you weren't attached to failure or success? What if you just decided whatever circumstance pops up in my life, I'm going to just do my best?
Ooh, I like that. I really like that.
And let's say for the next 10 circumstances that come up in your life, Ellen, you just decided, I'm not going to focus on whether I'm successful or I'm not successful or if I make mistakes or not. I'm just going to give it my 150% every time a circumstance comes up.
That's, yes.
And if you just operated from that place 10 times in a row, I guarantee you after the 10th decision, you're going to look back and you're going to go, man, you know, I'm pretty good at you know, making some of the choices that are always going to bring out the result that's really at the highest level.
That's a golden nugget for me, a real golden nugget for me, to just take the experience. It's not good, it's not bad, it's not, you know, failure, success. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to do the best possible job I can and do it.
Now, when you focus on that,
makes me really happy.
There's no room for anxiety.
Well, no, and then I don't start prejudging, you know, well, I don't have the experience, or
that's right.
I'm not going to say the right thing.
That's right.
All of that stuff goes away.
When you go down this road of psychoanalyzing it, you are creating your own fears, your own worries, your own anxieties, because you let that mind wander into the what ifs.
The monkey brain.
Do not go into the what if land. If you go too far, you might not come back.
Well, because the what ifs aren't real anyway.
That's right. So if you decide that and you shut down the what ifs and you just tell yourself, I'm just going to do the best I can when whatever comes up, whether it's something that you're anticipating over the weekend.
You don't project. Stop projecting. I have the tendency to project and then take what I'm projecting and, you know, work with that. And that's what kind of creates the anxiety, the wanting it to go right, wanting to say and do the right thing, all of that. If I can release that and go in for the experience, now I'm cool.
I like that.
I'm all cool.
So one of the greatest gifts I've ever received, it was from my mentor, and I remember being really worried about a certain scenario that I was getting. I knew it was coming up, it was coming down the pipeline, it was headed my way. And I remember she said to me one day, Alex, just trust yourself. And then she said, I trust you that when that decision comes, that you're going to make the highest choice possible with whatever pops up. And I remember looking at her going, how do you know that? She goes, because I've experienced your heart. I know where you come from. I know your outlook in life. You're always looking to try to help everyone in the decision. There's certain things that are going to be out of your control, and the certain circumstances you're not going to be able to get them 100%. but you're going to be up at the higher percentage. And then you're going to be satisfied with the decision you made because of the choices that you make and where you choose from.
And it came from the right place.
And when she said that to me, it was almost like, and I surrendered in that moment all of the worries, whether it was going to look this way or that way. And it stopped me from going down the what if world.
Well, and also whatever happens in the what ifs, it's going to be what it's going to be.
That's right.
And you choose to just be immersed in the experience.
That's right.
And then you look back on it, and you look at it and you go, that was really great. Next time, I think I'm going to change that part up a little bit.
That's right. But you can't learn that and grab that aha if you don't give yourself permission to go and make that one choice.
Because nothing is perfect.
One of the it's weird because like when you think about all these possibilities for you to really know yourself as a competent leader, they all come out of these moments where life just pops up at you and you get an opportunity just to reinvent yourself in the moment. And what would it look like if we trusted more of our ability to reinvent ourselves in the moment rather than letting all the fears come up and in the doubts that I won't be able to figure it out or reinvent myself in that moment. And sometimes it helps when you have partnerships or people that you can rely on that can guide you, at least for the first couple of times.
And just even like now, remind me.
Yes.
To remind me.
Yes.
Be open to another way of looking at this. Once I'm reminded, it's like, okay. Got this.
Here's another reason why people get stuck sometimes in their anxieties and in their worries about circumstances or possible things that or outcomes that they can't control. A lot of times people think in the way of, if I make the wrong choice, I'm stuck with that choice. And
I'll be judged for that choice.
Instead of opening your mind to the possibility that if I make the wrong choice and I realize it was the wrong choice, why can't I course correct it and then make the right choice?
Or just understand that I've learned from that, and if a situation comes up again, that will not be the choice I'm making. I'll be making another choice.
Yeah. So imagine like you're either working like a mechanic, right? You're under the hood, and you're there, and you have a couple of friends, and none of you guys know what to anticipate when you take this
part apart.
We'll say it's this little cap in front of your hood.
Cap. Oh,
it's a cap in front of your. Don't call it out.
Okay.
It's going to be this cap in front of your hood, right towards the end, the bumper, and it feels like there's pressure in it. And you're a rookie, you're young, and first time car owner, and you're like, well, should I open this or not? And they're like, well, try it. So you put a rag over it, and as soon as you turn it, it's like water starts coming out, and then you have to turn it back, right? But you won't know
until you test it out.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to make a mistake to realize that was the wrong way. That was the wrong choice.
Wrong turn.
Or ineffective. Like taking the cap off and feeling that pressure and the water coming up. I gotta turn it back because that wasn't the choice that was going to help us. So sometimes you have to be willing to just trust, and I got to make a choice, even though I don't know what it is or how it's going to turn out. Sometimes I just have to make the choice to find out.
You have to move forward.
Yeah, otherwise you're stuck. Or otherwise you just get stuck and paralyzed.
Or you don't try anything.
And then you just decide, I'm not going to do it.
If I don't try anything, then I can't get hurt.
Isn't that how we protect ourselves?
Yes.
We just decide, if the fear's too much for me, I'm not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to walk through it.
Yeah, and so we just end up deciding not to do those things.
So to move a little bit deeper, what about those who actually have this anxiety that does lead them to being depressed? The more I read about our young people, the more I'm hearing about this, which is kind of unsettling. But is there a way for us to be able to identify it, be aware of it, and, expose ourselves to this person in service and help. How do you identify it, and how does it get so bad?
It gets bad because we either haven't asked for help to pull us out sooner, so we end up going down that road a little bit too many times. And most youth are going to be going down that road because they don't know how to ask for help. They just haven't been taught that it's okay or it's safe or I'm here for you. Even though you said it as a parent, they've created their own evidence that you weren't there before, so why would you be there now? Or whatever they made up. They just stop asking for help. And so what they do is they internalize a lot of emotions, a lot of failures, a lot of guilt, a lot of resentment, a lot of pain, a lot of trauma. So all of a sudden you stuff all those emotions in this emotional tank. And I like to look at it like, imagine your emotional tank was like a propane tank for your barbecue grill. And that emotional tank is full. As it gets full and backed up, it starts to get heavy. And so you're walking around not only with one tank, but two tanks. And so you start, even your gait.
Lumbering around.
Yeah, you're just going, You're so,
woe is me.
You're so exhausted because you're carrying all those tanks that are filled with all those emotions. And so what I found out is that if you go through therapy or do some therapeutic work, what they like to do is go, sit down with you, point out that you have this emotional baggage that you're carrying around. And then if you trust them through conversations and through dialogue and through them asking you questions, you get that tank and you go, tss, tss, tss. And if you do that enough times, 3 times a week, times 4 weeks a month, times 12 months in a year, after a couple 2 or 3 years, about enough of the
tank's not quite as heavy.
Yeah, you got half the tank out. What I love and what I was introduced to was this transformational training where you get an opportunity to just go
unplug it.
Yeah, you get to a point,
geyser, let it go.
You get to a point in the training room where the technology is designed for you to feel safe enough, where we all get in a room and through dialogue and through these experiential exercises and through the music and through the invitation and the love, and you can literally transform 10 to 20 years of therapeutic work in a weekend.
Wow.
Not saying that you're all of a sudden miraculously healed,
right?
But it's like,
it shows you.
People can walk out of a 2-day powerful, intense workshop, and you're feeling lighter and you're feeling freer, and it's like, man, I had never made so much room so fast. Like I forgot what it felt like to feel like this.
If you've ever felt like that.
If you've ever felt like that. Now, there's other things, like I'm learning about this ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is this medicine that the shamans use to really help you cathartically release some of that emotional baggage and that pain through the guided participation from a shaman. And you can spend a night up in the mountains at one of their camps, and so there's other ways that you can
avenues
to heal yourself and transform yourself and your wellness like instantly.
Wow.
Or in a way that really just transcends it in a more powerful way rather than the traditional
yeah.
And they all work. I'm not downing any way, but the trick is that if you are depressed, the first step is asking for help. Because obviously you're not going to get yourself out of that depression because if you could, you would have already done it. And because you can't, you have to raise your hand and say, I need some support. I need help. That's the first step. And it seems to be the most challenging one.
Yeah.
But if you can get yourself to that, or if someone that loves you ridiculously enough to get in your face and go, dude, you need help, and I'm not going to sit here and watch you dwindle your life away until you take your own life or you get to the point where you just given up hope. So I'm going to fight for you. You're blessed if you have an earth angel that's willing to do that for you. But no matter which way it comes, you have to get some help. You have to get some support. Other people, you have to let other people help you. and guide you and let go of some of that stuff and make amends and forgive yourself and heal and make sense of why things did happen the right way and why they did go that way. And when you do that therapeutic work, all of a sudden you can breathe again and you feel alive again and you're able to be now optimistic about taking your life. And so it's just a matter of getting yourself out of that quicksand by reaching out saying, please, somebody pull me out of this quicksand.
Well, one of the greatest things from going to several of your seminars is realizing that we're not alone in this world. We are not alone in this world, that everything that one has felt, happiness, joy, sadness, fear, whatever, guess what? Everybody else has felt that too. And just to know that you are a part of a community that says, yeah, been there. It's okay. Makes a huge difference for people.
Sometimes that's just the starting point.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
that opens
just
your
looking
eyes.
around and going, wait a minute. You've done that too?
Yeah. You
You've
felt
done
that?
And then to have them go, I'm feeling it right now. I'm going through that right now. And then you look at them and go, but I could never tell because you're so happy and you're laughing all the time. You know what I mean? Sometimes we think we're the only ones going through what we're going through.
Well, and I think, for us, even as adults, we often do that. But I think, children are masters at that, putting on the face.
Absolutely. They're probably better than we are.
Oh, yes.
Because the last thing they want to do is get caught by their parents saying, I need help or I'm struggling.
Right.
So what they do is they put on these smiles and this laughter and they hide behind this mask. But behind the mask, there's these very insecure kids that are walking around with pain, guilt, resentment, and they're carrying around fears, doubts, limiting beliefs, all the insecurities that are going to come out at some point. And
that adults have carried with them too.
Absolutely. And it's heartbreaking as a parent when you're in their life in their 20s or 30s and you're watching them suffer. The worst experience you can ever have is just going, oh my God, what didn't I give them? How could I have been more? What kind of support could I have given them in their teens or in their tweens to really help them heal? And I didn't know that was happening.
Right.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the show. Stay tuned for more of the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.
Santa Clarita, bedbugs are taking over our city. They've invaded our homes, our businesses, and most importantly, our sleep. If you have suspicious bites that appear nightly, or have a bug that you need ID'd, your best option is to make one call to All Pro. We offer a 100% guarantee that your bedbug issues will be solved with heat in one treatment. No need to tent or spray your house with chemicals. Heat is all you need. Call 661-298-2200 or text me a bug picture to 661-645-0540. It's time to sleep tight again, STV.
The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
Hey guys, this is Cardinellis, host of the new show, Problem Solver Politics, an independent political talk show that keeps you up to date and in the latest political happenings, both nationally and here in the Santa Clarita Valley. Now, this isn't your usual partisan political talk show. At Problem Solver Politics, we have both Democrats, Republicans, and Libertarians hash out their differences on air as we strive to find solutions to today's challenges. Join us Sundays at 7 p.m. for Problem Solver Politics.
KHTS, your hometown station.
And welcome back to the Alex Urbina radio show. Today we're talking about anxiety.
Yes, we are.
And how to transform your anxieties and dial them back from not letting them get to the stage of anxiety in the first place, dialing them back to the fears and the worries, and then bringing them back all the way up even to the concern. Like, I'm concerned about this. So being concerned is, it's I framed it in a way that, like, I got my eye on it, and I'm gonna, prepare myself to set myself up to win, kind of a way of being concerned. But I'm not gonna let it sit there and fester to the point where it turns into a worry, and then the worry takes on its own monkey mind, and then before you know it, it's wandering down the path called, fear, and then going into, now I'm anxious, and now I can't breathe, and now I'm paying suffering these consequences,
and now I literally can't move. Period.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen people, their fingers, their hands get locked because of the fear and the panic that they've created, all from the mind.
Panic.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Our mind is powerful when we don't allow ourselves to decide that I'm in control, that I can decide what I'm going to worry about and what I'm not going to worry about. When you're not in control of that, and your ego has been running that for such a long time, it's going to do its job. Its job is to worry. Its job is to protect you. It is to bring up fear so that you don't take on these new things. The problem with that is that with the natural progression of your ego, its job is really to save your life in a way of protecting you from pain, hurt, or danger, so you can live another day. However, without you being in control of the ego, it just steps in and
runs the gamut.
It runs the show.
Yeah.
And then you're wondering why in your relationships you can't be vulnerable. You can't be honest and reflect and share some of those vulnerable things, because the ego's been in there running its racket for such a long time. It's got the walls up. It's protecting you.
You don't even know what's down there.
Yeah, it's keeping people at bay. It's not letting people in. Meanwhile, there are people in your life that love you more than anything in the world, and they want to be close to you. They want inside the wall. They want to know your thoughts. They want to know your fears. However, you're not sharing those because ego's like, no, we're not going there.
Yeah, you're not going to like that if you go there.
Yeah, I'm not going to show you that.
Yeah.
And so therefore we're in relationships with people that have numbed out, checked out. I just wrote a blog about this, actually. When I'm ready to post it, I'll post it. But it's about not feeling your feelings, not experiencing your experiences, and the possibility that as human beings, we could be numbed out and not even realize it.
I was totally numbed out until I had the opportunity to do one of your seminars. And as I told you at break, I literally walked out and looked at my husband and said, I had no idea that I could even feel like this. Had no idea how numbed out I was.
That goes to show you how numbed out your vulnerability has been for many
so
years.
Long. It still is.
And I bet you it was just little increments, right?
Yes.
Maybe 4 or 5 years old, something traumatic happened, or there was some pain, and then a little piece of your wall came up. Imagine brick by brick, you're creating this wall. Before you know it, we're 15 or 16 years old, and because of all the traumas, because of all the fears, because of all of those
the judgments,
all the past experiences that really hurt us, we got these walls up. And so we enter into relationships going, I love you, and I want you to marry me, and I want you to love me wholeheartedly.
But I'm not going to tell you who I really am.
I'll never let you in past that side. But the crazy thing is
here's your job.
But we don't know we're doing that.
No.
We don't realize that we're entering into relationships with these
part
walls
of
up.
it. And that is really
we don't
nuts.
know we're numb. You don't know you're numb until you're not numb. Until you experience what it's like to feel something, you go, oh my God.
Yeah.
What was that I just felt?
Yeah. That was like mind-provoking. Yeah. Poof.
Yeah. and I got that too at the age of 23. I was like, I want more of that.
Yeah. That feels good.
I want more of that vulnerability. I didn't know that was even possible. So when I allowed myself to feel that vulnerability for the very first time, probably since I was 2 or 3 years old, I was like, oh my God, that feeling is possible. I want that now for myself, and I want to share that feeling with my wife, and I want to share that feeling with my kids and my mom and my sisters. And
anybody who's willing to be open to it.
Yeah, absolutely. However, in order for you to have that kind of experience, you have to be, 1, believe that it's possible, 2, trust that it's possible, and then decide that you might be interested in having that kind of experience. Like, how do you know what extraordinary is if you've never tasted extraordinary, if you've never thought that extraordinary was even a feeling
or your
an
idea
experience.
of extraordinary was totally different. To truly know what extraordinary is instead of the pretend extraordinary.
But you know what? Extraordinary keeps moving.
Yeah.
So let's take for me example. Every time I think I'm having the courage to tap into that extraordinary, when I start to feel it and I'm having that breakthrough, the minute I get there and I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm doing my extraordinary happy dance, I go, wait a minute, there's another level. And then when you
we're not done.
And then when you get there's another level. It never
done.
It never stops, and you never get there. However, the journey of having those breakthroughs, oh my God, it's incredible.
That's what living is.
Yeah, it's about like being willing to continue to push on and demand to have more extraordinary experiences.
And why shouldn't you demand that,
Well, it's a choice.
I guess.
If you don't know what you don't know, guess what? You just
don't know.
You don't know. And so you're not going to it's not even going to be a concept for you because you're too busy going, what I do know is I can go on vacation or I can buy myself things or I can fill this void with, this relationship or
I can just accept that this is the way it is.
That's a good one. Yeah. We can just accept that there is no extraordinary.
No.
Yeah, everyone's lying.
And I'm good with
Everyone's
that.
lying to me.
Yeah. No, it's...
Ellen, you're a liar. There's no extraordinary.
Yes, there is.
How dare you go on the
is.
radio and say that there's an extraordinary feeling of love and vulnerability and trust.
I've experienced it. I have experienced it.
And it keeps moving for you.
And it keeps moving. It's a moving target.
And
I can't wait to get to the next one.
Me neither. And I'm excited for that. Which brings me to end the show. I wanted to talk about what we're getting ready to embark on, which is this powerful teen training, right? The Teen Empowerment Workshop this weekend. You're going to be part of the staff. You're going to be part of my team that gets to get into a training room, and we'll probably be committed to empowering about 25 teenagers in the Santa Clarita Valley this weekend and invite them to believe and remember how truly extraordinary they are. They've always been and they always will be, regardless of all of the emotional baggage that they have brought with them that they don't know that they have. And so what a gift to be able to explain it to them, put them in an experiential exercise where they get to see it and feel it for themselves, and then look at you like, oh my God, I didn't know this.
I didn't know I could feel like this.
Yeah. And then give them the gift of flushing a bunch of that out, and then letting that little kid come out again and just take risks and love themselves. What a gift.
Really excited.
That's all the time we have. Good news is we're here live every Friday at noon. Thanks for following me on Facebook, Coach Alex Urbina, Instagram, and YouTube as well. Thanks for joining us on the Alex Urbina radio show right here in your hometown station, KHTS.